Hey, thanks for stopping by Mystic Messages. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Hope everyone is doing amazing today. Please keep in mind these messages are timeless and will be received in divine timing for those who need to hear them. As always, if they don't apply, let them fly. You can always come back for the next one. However, I do encourage you to hang out because there might be something in here that you might need to hear, especially if this just passed by your feed because it doesn't hit many feeds in the algorithm. So if this happened to pass by your feed, there might specifically be something in here for you. All right, that being said, let's get into it. Today's message is more of a collective message as opposed to general or specific. Okay, and the reason why you might be receiving this message today is because you're either struggling with this particular situation, or you're surrounded by people, or you yourself are, you know, inclined to uh, maybe not see things as clearly as you should. Okay, now again, there's no judgment here. And like I said, this message is more of a collective message than general, but it's something that I've been guided to speak about this morning because it's very important as to what's going on. Okay, unfortunately, many of you might have noticed there's something going on, in the world today that's both on a physical and a spiritual level. Okay, where you know the positive energies and the negative energies are colliding. Okay, there's a lot of collusion, a lot of lies, a lot of deception. Okay, there's also a lot of institutions utilizing tactics in order to gain your confidence, to make themselves appear as something good, when in essence they are nothing but wolves in sheep's clothing. Okay, I'm not going to mention any names for obvious reasons, but those of you who know. Okay, many of these institutions use patriotic symbolism. They call themselves by patriotic names. They use military veterans, retired military officials, what have you. Anyway, these institutions are using these people to make themselves look benign. They're trying to use these patriotic images to make themselves look benign to the general public while they're collecting money from them. They're advertising things, placing fear into people, trying to get people to purchase certain items of things that they might deem important in the case of an emergency. Okay, again, I'm not going to mention any names, but those of you who know. Okay, and this is why this message is so important, because a lot of you out there might be inclined, okay, and this includes secret societies. A lot of you might be inclined to donate to these specific organizations, okay. Meanwhile, the advice is to really check into the things that you're donating into, to to understand exactly where your money's going to. Okay, look up these so-called organizations, whether they use religion, patriotic symbolism, military officials, what have you. If they're using any of these things, please make sure to thoroughly check them out. Okay, now you yourself might not be aware that you're personally involved in a situation like this because whoever I'm speaking to, I don't think I'm speaking to anybody that's deliberately doing things that will be contrary to the good of the world, of the universe. Okay, I don't think I'm getting that at all. That's not what I'm feeling. What I'm feeling is that there's confusion. You've been misled either by family members, having people in your family that were involved in the military, which gives you a soft spot for that, or people who are involved in the military, or people that belong to some type of a secret society organization. Okay, so you hold a soft spot and you think that, in your own way, how could these people be deceptive in any way? And a lot of times they're led to be deceived. They're led to be deceived by those who run these organizations. And this has been an effective tactic by the Matrix for years. Okay. This is what they do. They gain confidence. Okay. They gain confidence of people. They make, like we're living in the world of the inside out. Okay. What's up is down. What's down is up. What's good is bad. And a lot of us don't realize that. Okay. Are a lot of things that were meant to, we were brought to believe that were good, or we were taught to believe that were good, aren't always so good. Just because something looks benign on the surface doesn't mean that it's benign underneath. Okay, there are ulterior motives going on out there. Like I said, there is a war of sorts going on, both spiritually and in the 3D. Okay, that's trying to battle for everyone's soul. Okay, this is why it's so important. Whoever's receiving this message, okay, and this might be triggering for some. Okay, especially this is going to be triggering mostly those who uh, can relate to this message. Okay, those who need to hear it most. Okay, so you can be in denial all you want of whatever you're feeling. A lot of what I'm saying is just confirmation for those individuals. Okay, especially the cross watchers that are out here that might be watching, that might be inclined to leave a negative comment, and that's cool. Because what do I do with negative comments is I'll pin them up for everyone to see, to expose those individuals for who they are. If they want attention, I'm gonna help them out and give them attention. I'll pin your comment for everyone to see. So, if there's a negative comment placed out there, just be aware it's not going to affect me in any way, but it's just going to expose who you are. Okay, so if this triggers anyone, I'm sorry, but I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. Okay, especially when I'm being inspired so deeply to give a message of concern like this, okay, for people to watch out. So the individuals I'm speaking to, like I said, either you're involved with the military yourself or you have military individuals in your family and you've only seen them as, good and wonderful. But when those very same individuals or symbols, patriotic symbols like flags or, calling yourself by a patriotic name, okay, is disguised as something to harm others, okay, to harm individuals who are not like themselves. But they say, hey, you know what? I'm a good person. Look at this. I fought in this war. I fought for this country. I did such and such, Or we're a religious institution. We follow the laws of the spiritual realm. Unfortunately, a lot of times these are a front, okay? This doesn't apply to every situation, but it is out there. So this message is just being sent out there for those who need to be made aware to this situation that's going on. Like I said, a lot of it is subconscious, a lot of it is what you were taught, what you were raised to believe, okay? But it doesn't mean that you can't change things, that you don't have the power to change things, okay? And like I said, this is just confirmation. A lot of you who I'm speaking to know what I'm talking about, okay? And there's going to be a lot of you who are not going to get it, and that's cool because this message, like I said, won't be specifically for everyone, but hopefully it'll reach those that it's intended to reach, okay? So if you are considering donating to a specific organization based upon it having some type of a patriotic name or some type of religious affiliation or some type of military affiliation, please look into those things before you donate. Understand where your money is actually going to and what it's serving, okay? Because a lot of it is unfortunately not going to our greatest good, okay? It's going to a specific group of individuals at the top who want to control everything. And this is how they begin, by brainwashing those below them and what they perceive to be below them, okay? They manipulate, like I said, through certain iconography, okay? Whether it be religious symbols, patriotic symbols, and not to repeat that all over again, but this is what they use to make themselves appear benign. And this isn't always the case. And a lot of times, the ones at the top, they're aware of what's going on. The ones in between might be aware, and yet they refuse to speak out. And then you have the rest who are surrounded by these types of individuals and refuse to speak out or speak up for themselves or continue to hang around these individuals. Again, these are lower vibrational individuals that are going to drag you down with them if you're not able to wake up to what's happening. And again, there's no judgment here. This is not meant to be a lecture. Okay. I want that to be fully understood. And, you in no way have to listen to anything that I say because I believe in free will. You have a choice. This information is just being put out there for those who are willing to take a deeper look at maybe their situation, themselves, and their surroundings, and hopefully be enlightened to something new, to a new path. Okay? Because that'll be your first step to making progress in your own life. When you could fully be awake to what's happening around you, when you could fully be aware of the things that you're supporting or donating to, okay? These things will change your life, believe it or not, and change the trajectory of the world. But we all got to do our part. And again, you have free will to do what you like, so it's your choice. Okay, so again, I hope this message reaches who it was intended for. And I want to thank everyone again for stopping by. And we'll see you again soon. Take care.